Why set piece won't win the league, and mentality issues in football teams. These are the two things I want to talk about in regards to the performance we just saw from Arsenal this night. You know, why set piece won't win you the league? Because you ask yourself, what if you come across a team that matches you man to man? A team that matches your level of physicality, a team that poses the same level of threats with area ball as you do. What happens? That means there's a tendency that 40% of your scoring chances has been eroded. And you're talking about winning English Premier League. You're not talking about, with all due respect, you're not talking about League One or La Liga or something. We're talking about the English Premier League. And from what we've seen this season so far, it has been the most competitive. Of course, definitely the best league in the world. But in terms of what we've seen in EPL across, let's say in the last 5 years, this has been the most competitive because everybody can lose points, whether you're home or not. So you're talking about set piece and, you're getting a lot of goals from set piece and you feel good about it because, okay, at the end of the day, we are talking about 3 points. Bro, we are not talking about a tournament of maybe 10 matches. We are talking about a league of 38 matches and not just any other league but EPL. Now, the chicks have come to roost. Now the curtain has been raised. So when you have so much dependency on a particular way of scoring, I said it in not just in one video, but a couple of videos I've made in the past, that we are talking about winning the EPL trophy. You should have a lot of ways of getting your goals. So if you rely so much on one pattern of scoring, you're definitely not in the mode of someone that's going to win the league. And we've seen it play out back to back to back. And the dangerous thing about draw? The dangerous thing about draw is that by the time you draw like 5 games, you look back, yes, you've not lost 5 games, but you've actually drawn all. And you compare yourself with another team that played the same number of games, 5 games, and they've won only 2 and lost 3. That is when it gets clearer, because Team B is getting 6 points while you are getting 5 points. When I said it in my previous video that Arteta has done his bit in Arsenal, a lot of people, kicked against it, that Arteta has built the team so long. Now is the time for him to reap and all that. Bro, like I said in my previous video, sometimes, in fact, most times, you need Moses and Joshua to move you from Egypt to the promised land. That's just it. You need both. Because if you decide to rely only on Moses, you may be stuck in the wilderness forever. So at this point, I still believe Arteta has played his role. It's time to move on. It's time to step aside. It's time to allow this team transcend to the next level. Because the way it's looking, you guys are still 5 points ahead, of course, with an extra match. I keep wondering, why was it Arsenal that played tonight? Why was it only Arsenal that played tonight? That's for the FA to answer, but you guys are still 5 points ahead, but we know what City is cooking. We saw the move Pep made during the January transfer window. That is, a coach that knows where he's going. So, I still go back to what I said earlier. Arsenal as a club should assess their relationship with Arteta and decide whether they want to stick with him or they want to start winning trophies. It's as simple as that. So as long as they are not able to have this conversation as sincere as possible, then what happened tonight, will just be status. This might as well be the beginning of the end. Now we talk about the mentality issues in football teams. It still goes back to the coach, because the truth is that a coach that is not known as a winner, who is different from a coach that is known as a winner, that's just it. Because the reason is that for you to win EPL, it's a journey, it's a long journey. So you know what it takes every day of the match. You know what you have to do. You know what you have to do at the beginning of the season, during the general transfer window, and of course 5 matches, 10 matches to the end of the season. Because you've lived it, you've experienced it, you know what it takes. So if you don't have that kind of coach, trust me, you don't buy experience. You earn it, you live it. You experience, clock it. You understand? So that's just it. Arteta is not that coach. At least at the moment, he's not that coach. So the mentality issue in Arsenal needs to be addressed. Now, talking about the players, aside the fact that you don't have a winning coach, if you look at the Arsenal team, the spine of Arsenal team, how many winners do you have in that team? What has Gabriel won in club football? What has Declan Rice won in club football? What has Saka won in club football? Ta-da! Yeah, I'm a Chelsea fan, true, but there are some truths you can't run away from. I said it earlier in my previous video. Arsenal is not getting goals and not scoring enough. Because the truth is that, just like I said, if you've done something before, you know what it takes to achieve that. And you know that for you to achieve the same thing, you have to repeat what you did or build on what you've done in the past. If you look at the average goal Arsenal has right now, it's about 1.9 per game. And I mentioned earlier, for you to win EPL in the last 10 to 15 years, except one season, of course, when many teams were underperforming, and of course, Man City cruised to the end, you need to score at least 90 goals. Or you should have your top scorer in the top 5 of the scorer sheets. Goals are needed because goals puts an end to the game. You can end the game in the first half. Only goals can do it. Defense cannot do it, because if you keep a clean sheet in first half, you need to keep a clean sheet in second half. But if you score 4 goals in first half, you don't need to score 4 goals in second half. That is how goal works. So that's the superiority getting goals has over a very good defense. Yes, Arsenal, they have a decent defense right now, but the truth is that, like I said, clean sheet first half, you have to repeat it in second half. Can they repeat what they've done at the early part of the season? That is a question you need to answer. That is a question left for everyone to answer. Now we can see a lot of cracks in the defense. A team like Wolves is getting 2 goals against Arsenal. So these are the things that we keep talking about. Not necessarily, banter aside, but there are some reality checks that need to happen in Arsenal if they really want to go for the EPL title. Otherwise, they're going to end second. Of course, this season, it's looking most likely that they're going to end second again. Most likely. Because right now, if Man City decides to do a 5-game win back to back, I don't think Arsenal is going to match that. I doubt. If you look at the matches both teams are going to play, the next 5 matches they have to play, Arsenal has an uphill task. So these are the things Arsenal need to sort out if they really want to win the league. Otherwise, it will just remain the every season. Next season will be better. Next season will be better. We keep hoping, we keep anticipating. That is for your fans anyway, because come on. So, to the Gunners, it's a pity, a draw. To me, it's almost like a loss. Because you drew your last game, it's almost like a loss. Man City is at your doorstep. And you saw the move Pep made at the January transfer window. He has seen the cracks in his team. He knows what it takes to win the league. That's why he made those moves. Someone should correct me if Arsenal has any financial issues that made Arteta not to, plug some holes during the January transfer window. So let's see how it goes. Because right now, once you score Arsenal, just all it takes for Arsenal to crumble is one goal. Once you get a goal against Arsenal, meltdown. So I hope they can, pull the rabbit out of the hat and, see this margin to the end of the season. I hope they can do that, but I know it's unlikely. So I wish you guys the best. Arteta, I wish you the best because it's not an easy job, but it's your job. You've got to do it, and you have to do it well. Yeah. So guys, bye for now.